Oh, hey guys. Welcome to episode number 12 of 5 Minutes About IELTS. It's really cold right now in Hanoi, and I'm the kind of person who is really terrified of the cold, to be honest. This morning I woke up to constant sneezing and a blocked nose, so that's why. Anyway, I guess you already know what today's video is about, right? And it is about weather. Oh, guys, I don't think I can get out of bed this morning. It's really cold outside, like about 15 degrees. Anyway, weather is one of the popular topics in the IELTS speaking, but it's also very difficult. So in today's episode, I'm going to answer some questions about weather, but more importantly, I'm going to give like tons of new words about weather, both topic related and academic for you to use in the IELTS speaking. So here we go. Question number 1. Do you like rainy days? This is a yes-no question, and normally you would answer yes or no and then explain why, right? But there is another way to answer this kind of question, that is to say, it depends. So if you ask me if I like rainy days, then I would say it depends. If I have to go out on that day, I would prefer the weather not to be rainy because, let's be honest, rain stinks. You know, you would have to put on a raincoat, which causes a lot of trouble for traveling. And also, you know, it's dirty. It's very dirty to ride in the rain because when you are traveling on the road, the scooters in front of you will splatter mud and dirt everywhere on you, even your face. But if I don't have to go out and I get to stay home, then I would love some drizzle outside my window, you know. And then I would put on some nice, relaxing tunes and read some book, enjoying my quiet solitude in the warm, cozy ambience of my own home, while listening to the raindrops falling onto my balcony. That would be so serene and perfect. Okay, next question. What are some good and bad points of the weather in your city? Well, I'm living in Hanoi, and the weather here is typical of the northern climate with 4 seasons. About the perks, I would say the weather here is not too extreme, you know. There are some times during the year that it can get really hot or really cold, but in general, I think the weather in Hanoi it's very pleasant and comfortable. I am especially fond of the autumn. You know, I guess most people are, because the weather is so nice and relaxing, especially in Hanoi. What is better than holding hands with the person you love while strolling around the West Lake in autumn? That being said, when the weather gets extreme, it is the worst. During the summer months, the weather can be really hot. The temperature can reach up to more than 40 degrees, which is blistering hot. While in the winter, there are some like super freezing days in which the temperature can drop below 5 degrees. We Vietnamese people are so accustomed to the tropical climate and the warmth, so those frigid days are really, unbearable. Question 3. Let's see. What are your most and least favorite season? I'm a big fan of summer. Many people hate it because of the heat, but I love it because, first of all, there are some kind of, energetic and oh my god, because there are some kind of energetic and refreshing vibes about the summer. In the summer, basically in summer, I can do a lot of things like going to the gym, go jogging, enjoying the beautiful sunlight. Basically, it's easier to be healthy in the summer. But the best thing about summer is that I can go traveling. I am an avid traveler, and I have, I especially have an enthusiasm for the ocean. And what is a better time to sit back and relax on a beautiful beach than summertime? On the other hand, my least favorite season is obviously winter. The weather is bleak and everything around, from the trees to the sky, looks dull and tedious and colorless, which also makes us tired and draggy all the time. But the worst thing about winter is that it causes me nasal congestion and allergy like all the time, which I absolutely despise. Question number 4. Do you think the weather affects people's mood? Well, from my perspective, I think that weather is very likely to have impacts on people's emotions. Like when the weather is good, it's warm and sunny, people will generally feel better. But on those gloomy, rainy days, I doubt that people could be in good spirits. I read somewhere about the seasonal affective disorder or SAD. I don't know if that's intentional. Anyway, a lot of people suffer from this disorder in winter months, which according to some studies is due to the lack of natural sunlight exposure in the winter. Because of this, people may experience negative emotions a lot. For example, like anxiety or sadness. But after all, I think it is us who should be responsible for our own feelings. We should not put the blame on something else, least of all the weather. Final question, have there been any changes in the weather of your country over the past few years? Let's see. This seems like a question that could appear in the IELTS speaking part 3, so I'm going to give a rather complex answer. Let's see. I think there have been major climatic changes in the weather of Vietnam. First of all, that is the increased extremity of weather conditions nowadays. For example, I still remember back in my hometown in the 2000s when I was little, the maximum temperature for the summer could be just less than 35 degrees Celsius, which was already hot, but not too hot, in an intolerable way. But Hanoi recently has seen some severe heat waves this summer, which has led to the death of some elderly people, as well as caused tremendous discomforts for our lives. Another major shift in climate could be seen in the unpredictability of weather conditions recently. I can give you an example. In the central region of Vietnam, people have suffered from serious floods, which came totally unexpected. Meanwhile, in the north, the winter seasons recently arrived later than usual, but accompanied with severe and prolonged cold periods. I think the reason for these cases could be global warming and climate change. So that's it, guys. That is the end of today's episode of 5 Minutes About IELTS. Again, I have to stress that this topic, weather, is very common and popular in the IELTS speaking, but it is also quite challenging and difficult because you have to know some good vocabulary related to weather so you can have things to say. So remember to prepare for it carefully in the IELTS speaking. If you want to get the transcript for today's video, please go to the official Facebook page of 5 Minutes About IELTS and follow the instructions there. So goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next episode, 5 Minutes About IELTS.